Hi, Nicole Snow here. Today I wanted to finish up talking about a topic this week of persisting, of choosing to persist instead of fading. And I love the quote that I shared at the top of one of the videos, or the heading, by Calvin Coolidge. And he says, "Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent." And I love that. It reinforces that doing something consistently is actually what matters the most. It also reinforces what we talked about yesterday, that you have everything inherent within you for greatness and to make an impact on the world. It's a matter of choice. It's not something outside of you, but it's a matter of you choosing to do those daily actions and persisting in those choices. And a great example of that, I don't know if you read about it online, is a guy named Pasquale Pat Bracco. He was 31. His whole life he was known as Fat Pat. A few years ago, he had been to the doctor and he weighed in at over 600 pounds. He was highly discouraged. He took a picture of himself that day and said his stomach hung down over his legs, his chest hung down, and he was saddened and upset with where he was at in his life. So he made one small decision that he persisted in. And that decision was to walk to the grocery store to get his food and walk back home to eat it for any meal and anything he ate. So his grocery store was a Walmart about an hour from his home in Arizona. And 3 times a day, or not an hour, I mean a mile, and 3 times a day he walked to that Walmart to get his food and came back home, walked back home before he ate it. And he said that was 6 miles, and he'd never walked 6 miles in his life. But he made that decision and he persisted at it. Because what else is remarkable about the article, condensed in a few verses or a few paragraphs, is 3 years worth of work. We want everything to be instant, or we don't want to persist at it. But it took him 2 years to lose about 200 pounds walking back and forth to Walmart. And then at that point he plateaued, and so he started investigating further how he could further improve his nutrition, because he was walking there to purchase nutritious foods. But and so he learned that for him he needed to eliminate dairy, and now he's at the point where he works out at a gym. He's lost 325 pounds, and his goal is to be a bodybuilder. But the most important goal for him and role in his life right now is being a role model for his 1-year-old son. He's going to pass this character trait on to his son of showing him what persisting did. He didn't join a glamorous gym. He didn't have a personal trainer. He didn't have a dietitian. He didn't have a cook or a chef or a lot of money, a ton of Instagram followers. He walked. That's what he did for his workout. He changed his life by making a small decision. And he's really, really a handsome guy. Look at his before and after picture. And he's training now. He wants to be a bodybuilder. And I just love his example. Now he calls himself Pat Possible. He's no longer Fat Pat, but he made that choice. And as I read the article about that lady that hiked Machu Picchu, one of the 7 things that she said about allowing her to persist was taking one step at a time, was starting to focus on those small steps. And the same with the wisdom that I shared from that Navy SEAL about a month ago, where he started breaking down every evolution of everything and congratulating himself on it. Whether it was rolling in the surf and getting back up and having to flip their rowboat, get in and get to shore, or brushing his teeth. He would start out the day brushing his teeth and say, "Good job, you completed that, you're a winner." And then he'd go on to making his bunk and tell himself, "Good job, you completed that, you're a winner." And he treated brushing his teeth was as much as important an accomplishment as he did the physical exertions that they would have later in the day. And I think these examples of these individuals are incredible. I can't talk. Maybe I need to work on that a little bit at a time, because making a choice is everything in persisting in that choice. And like I talked about with that analogy of elk hunting in the mountains, that at first you start out pitch black, and then because you're up there so early before the sun comes up, and then there's a little bit of light and you can start to see the valley, but you just see everything kind of in dark blue, and you see the shape of everything. And the next time you come out of the trees, a little higher elevation, there's a little bit more light and you can see blue and gray. And as you climb higher and higher and higher, and you don't have to have the flooding light of the noonday sun to get perspective and to get hope. But have faith in yourself. Take that step into the dark and persist in that. Even when you don't see the results at first, knowing that it's a lot. If you complete actions, the result has to follow. That doesn't necessarily apply to the lottery or other things like that, but actions in our life, like this Pat, choosing to walk 6 miles a day, by law, he's going to receive the result of that at some point, and persisting in that. So the challenge today is to ask yourself, is what I'm doing today taking me closer to or farther away from my goals? And what can I do today to take myself closer to my goals? Those two questions are the challenge for today. Thank you.